City chaos breaks out as migrants desperately seek shelter. A melee broke out at an East Village processing center this morning. That is where our Stephanie Bertini is live right now with the latest. And Stephanie, what happened there?
Arthur, well, right now it's cold out here, it's windy, it's wet. During this kind of weather, the most vulnerable are most at risk. Here in New York City, that includes migrants and the homeless population, and that can translate into a range of emotions. We saw evidence of that here earlier today. Volunteers at Tompkins Square Park are helping migrants get some things that could offer a little comfort in the face of the harsh weather in the forecast tonight.
They hand us some food and this to keep us warm because it's very cold out here.
This man from Guinea, West Africa is one of the many asylum seekers in New York City now facing uncertainty as shelters are at capacity. On a night like this, that uncertainty can create a range of emotions, including fear. And you're not used to this weather, right?
We are not. This is a strange environment.
Earlier today, emotions were high not too far from the park in front of the former St. Bridget's School, now operating as a shelter reentry center for migrants during this crisis, as limits on shelter stays were imposed by the city months ago.
There are literally hundreds every day lined up around the block, all the way to the next block and around the corner.
This morning, ahead of the storm and the forecast, police were called after an altercation broke out. The NYPD says 2 officers sustained minor injuries and 2 migrants are facing several charges now, including resisting arrest. According to a witness, it had to do with someone cutting the line. They are not respecting the line. That's why the problem happened, he said. The Department of Homeless Services says tonight a code blue is in place, meaning if you need a warm bed, you should be able to access one. But with the overflow in shelters between the migrant population and the homeless in New York City, there are doubts. In a statement from Housing Justice for All, thousands of our homeless neighbors, including families and children, will be forced to endure freezing temperatures on the streets today. Some may die. And of course, as the weather gets worse tonight, anything can help. Outreach workers are out making sure those who need a warm place can get to it. Arthur, back to you inside.
All right, thank you very much.
Hey there, Patriots. This is Short Low Patriot coming at you with another one. The clip I just showed you is from today in New York about what's going on with the illegal migrants coming in. And now with this major storm that's supposed to be hitting New York any day now, I guess, tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday, something like that. But before I continue and dissect this and put my thoughts to this, I want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers to my YouTube and Rumble channel. So don't forget to please comment, like, share, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Also, a couple of things. I've been getting some feedback about a lot of the audio has been very low. It's not on my end. It's got something to do with, I guess, some of the content that's being put out by the news media. It's almost as if they're buffering when you upload. So if that happens, just keep letting me know. I'll try my best on my end to fix that. Also, if you can watch the videos just a little longer, halfway through, and maybe a little longer, it helps with the algorithm. And if you want to help support the channel, I'll leave a link in my description for my Cash App and PayPal. Okay, so what I just showed you was this this news clip about what's going on with the migrants. Now, I'm going to dissect this a little bit, okay? But the next clip I want to show you after this is what's going on also in Chicago. Okay, you know, there was a fight that broke out, okay, supposedly with a couple of migrants, and it got physical, and 2 cops supposedly got hurt, stuff like that. First things first, let's just go back a little bit on this video. I remember when I was a kid growing up in New York, okay, to hang out in Washington Square Park, it was great. Everybody did it, especially on the weekends. That's where people met and they converged, and they would play music and everybody hang out, have a good time. And then little by little, when the city was being taken over by, you know, the leftist socialist tyrants, they started closing down the park. They put up a gate around the monument in Washington Square Park. There was a lot you couldn't do. And now it's become a haven just so, you know, the bleeding heart liberal yuppies will go and feed these migrants that are going to be stuck out in the cold. And I know some people are going to say, you know what, that's kind of harsh. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm just saying the damn truth. Okay? I'm saying the damn truth. Okay? Another thing, when they show all these, they show all these migrants, I mean, you might see one or two women, but it's mostly men. Okay? Mostly men coming in. I'll let this play a little bit. I'll turn the audio down so you guys can see, but it's like you got all these men, and I keep saying it, coming from all these countries, and all they're doing, they're not asylum seekers. They're looking for work. Okay? They're looking for work. It's mostly men. Okay? Which is going to mess up the economy for middle-class men, blue-collar workers, and stuff like that. But nobody really gives a flying rat's ass about that. They just don't. Everybody deserves to work and eat and steal our jobs, and that's just how I feel about it. Because as a blue-collar worker, I feel the crunch myself. And I'm not even in New York. I'm in a different state. But they're all over the place. Okay? Now, I'm going to play here. I'll let this play a little bit. I'm going to, what this woman says about, the lines of migrants, going all around the corner. I mean, everybody sees that. Okay? Nobody's stupid. All right? They won't open up the school, for school children because it's always never in their budget, but they'll open it up, as a migrant shelter. Okay, now this clip that I want to play right here, when the gentleman says that the reason being right here. Okay, I'll pause that. I'll back up just a little bit. I'm going to tell you what he says. Okay.
The line. They are not respecting the line. That's
okay. Right there, he says, they're not respecting the line. I find it how ironic that these people are going to come here and fight over a space on the line, talking about respecting the line, but yet they couldn't respect our border. People can keep looking at me like I'm some racist. I am not. Okay? But yet people want me to respect the law as an American citizen in this country. Okay? There's a lot of laws that a lot of American citizens don't like. Okay? But we respect them. Okay? We do our best to keep law and order. So now you got all these migrants out here that are going to be stuck in the snow. They're going to be stuck in the cold. And we know this. Everybody knows this. They can't even help the little bit of American homeless citizens in New York during the winter. What makes you so sure they're going to be able to help tens of thousands of these migrants? People that probably haven't even seen snow before in their life. Okay? Now, I don't know this man. But I just find it ironic, that one piece right there on the news, the way they let it play out, saying, oh, the fight broke out because people don't respect the line. Did you respect our border? No, you did not. Okay, so let's move on. So, with that being said, we're going to go a little farther. Okay, I'm going to pause it again. What I really like right here, what really catches my eye, is Sia Weaver, campaign coordinator for Housing Justice for All. I love the way he phrases this. Okay? Let me pause that and just go back. Okay? It says, thousands of our homeless neighbors, including families and children, will be forced to endure freezing temperatures on the streets today. Some may die. People, what the hell is wrong with this? I'll tell you what's wrong with it. Thousands of our homeless neighbors, first of all, they didn't give a flying rat's ass of all the, American homeless people, vets and stuff like that in New York, Chicago, around the country. But now thousands of their New Yorkers, homeless neighbors, all of a sudden the migrants are their neighbors now? Really? Their neighbors just like that. And then it says including families and children. What you mean are the migrant families and children, not the neighbors. So we need to stop the shit of trying to label them something that they're not. Okay? And then to put icing on the cake, to come out and say some may die. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. People die, homeless people die every year in the winter, even in the summer, which has always been a problem in America. And the powers that be can't even control that. But now you got, not, there's no more saying hundreds, there's no more saying thousands. Now we already know with the information that's coming out, because mainstream media, like I said yesterday in my last video, they're trying to show face. There are millions. Okay, millions. So anybody that is for an open border, this is on you. Okay? All you Democratic officials, you're not going to try to get over and start saying, oh, some may die. Yeah, no shit, like I said. Homeless people in America die every year, every day. In the summer, in the winter, it doesn't matter, they die. American citizens, homeless vets, people with disabilities. But what you don't really see, okay, that much of, are American citizens with their children out there. But now they want to go and flip the script and say, oh, including thousands of our homeless neighbors, including families and children. No, call it for what it is. It's all the illegal migrants that you promised something to, you freaking lied, and now they're stuck out there. And then who endures it all over again? The American taxpayer. The American taxpayer. We endure it. So when you come out and say thousands of our homeless neighbors, no, it's more like thousands of our American citizens will be flipping the bill for all the illegals, the families and the children that you let into this country. And you know what? Some may die because of your fuck up. Because of your campaign. Okay? You make promises you can't keep. You screwed over the American taxpayer, the American voter that voted you in, and now you're screwing over all the illegals that you let in. And this is just in New York. Okay? But let's see how they're doing in Chicago. Here we go.
An alderman is calling on Mayor Johnson to address what he describes as disruptive and dangerous behavior among Chicago's new migrant population. Alderman Ray Lopez, whose ward does include that Gage Park shelter, says his constituents have witnessed gang recruitment efforts, drug use, sex acts, and prostitution. He says many migrants are, quote, joyfully ignoring curfews, and heroin abuse is a growing concern there. Now, with an estimated 5,500 asylum seekers here in Chicago right now, that's a number that continues to go up. He sent a letter to Mayor Brandon Johnson calling for an immediate crackdown on such behavior.
We know this crisis is not ending anytime soon. We need to show that we are willing to address those issues that are negatively impacting local communities. We heard about it this week at Woodlawn, and we need to be able to nip it in the bud early.
Right now, Chicago is housing migrants at 14 shelters across the country, but the migrant population at police stations is reportedly back on the uptick, right now estimated to be at nearly 900 in the...
Okay, that was in Chicago, but this video clip, I just wanted to bring it up to make my point, was 5 months ago. And I have put a video out on this before, because a lot of the black community in Chicago have been going to the mayor, okay, and complaining about the crime that the migrants are bringing in. Some saying that they were even roaming the streets with guns, and they're wondering how they're getting the guns in their possession. Among the gang activity and stuff like that. And I did another video about people from Venezuela getting together and going inside and robbing in stores and stuff. So the crime wave is up in Chicago, and a lot of the migrants, okay, are a part of it. Now, we already know what's going on in Chicago. Brandon Johnson doesn't give a flying rat's ass, like I've been saying. He doesn't care about what the voters say, but he wants to point the finger at Greg Abbott, and he wants to point the finger at Trump, and he wants to point the finger at this. Meanwhile, he's not listening to his constituents. That's why they're going to vote him out, and they're going to flip Chicago red. But now, here we are, 2024, the new year, to make matters worse for the people in Chicago. The citizens, Americans... I'm going to play a clip of what the governor now did to start off the new year. This is his, I guess, I don't know, his thank you to the American citizens in Chicago for putting up with all the shit that a lot of the illegal migrants are bringing in all the crime that they're causing. Let's take a look.
300 new laws are now in effect in Illinois, but a large number of local sheriffs are refusing to uphold what's become known as the Protect Illinois Communities Act. 5 on Your Side's Holden Kurwicki spent the day speaking with those sheriffs about their concerns. So Holden, why the pushback from law enforcement? And it is quite a significant pushback.
That's exactly right, and the deadline to register a banned weapon has passed, and only 1% of Illinois gun owners complied with the law. Many of the sheriffs I spoke with told me they don't want to punish law-abiding citizens who are technically now breaking the law for owning a weapon that was legal just a week ago.
This new year, there are more than 300 new laws taking effect in Illinois, but the majority of county sheriffs have chosen not to implement the Protect Illinois Communities Act.
It is not lawful or valid on its face. It's not enforceable, and my office will not be taking on any action on this.
One of my main concerns is, how exactly is this going to make our community safer?
The law effectively banned more than 170 models of guns and high-capacity magazines.
And I believe this law violates our constitutional right to keep and bear arms more than any other law that I've ever seen in my 30 years in law enforcement.
To be in compliance, Illinois' 2.4 million FOID card holders simply needed to register their weapon with the state. But according to Illinois State Police, fewer than 30,000 have already done so.
We're going to take law-abiding citizens and make them criminals because of a very difficult decision they have to make.
Failing to register a banned weapon will lead to a misdemeanor charge on the first offense and a felony charge for the second.
I notified the chiefs in my county that if the only charge they have against somebody is that they failed to register their weapon, that we will not be accepting them into our jail.
However, a felony charge for an unregistered weapon isn't a jailable offense.
The only time we will house someone that is charged with that is if they happen to be charged with a violent crime.
The law already faces numerous legal challenges, which some sheriffs tell me could change their stance.
My hope is this would hurry up and get to the United States Supreme Court and let them ultimately weigh in on this. That would be the law of the land.
Even if the Supreme Court did uphold it and overturn those cases, we all know, like 90% of it, that's not going to change our position. We know what the Constitution says. We know what the people's rights are, and we're going to stand very firm on our position on it.
I reached out to Illinois State Police, who told me they will be enforcing the Protect Illinois Communities Act, but the decision to charge anyone is ultimately left up to individual states' attorneys.
Okay, well, there you have it, folks. There you have it. While the governor doesn't do anything about the illegal migrants causing trouble, selling drugs, prostitution, committing crimes, they come in here illegally, he just throws them out into the wilderness, leaves it up to the mayor spits on his voters' faces. To start the new year, they're going to take law-abiding gun owners and put their backs against the wall and potentially make them criminals. That's what you get when you vote in a freaking socialist, communist, leftist politician. People keep saying, well, I should say a lot of Democrats say that they're there for their people. They're there for the people. What is it that they say? What is it? Equity, inclusion, and this and that and that and this. So you let Chicago flip the bill to house people that came here illegally when they could have just waited at the port of entry, done it the right way, so we know who they are. We already know there's a lot of criminals coming in. They're saying it themselves, okay? But then you go against the American citizens' Second Amendment rights. And this is why the Democrats are losing power. This is why people in Chicago and New York have spoken. They're fed up with the shit and they're going to flip it red. But at the same time, this is why the Democrats are letting the country be flooded, okay, by migrants, because they know that they're losing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. I've been saying it for months. We knew this was going to be the inevitable. I mean, Kathy Hochul is taking away the gun rights of New York, the citizens of New York. So it's funny how both governors are taking away the rights of American citizens who have the right to keep and bear arms, but then they leave it up to the mayors to use taxpayer money to cater to illegal migrants. And then you got Joe Biden making a speech yesterday, okay, or was it earlier today, because today's January 6th, supposed to be the anniversary of the supposed insurrection at the Capitol, saying that Donald Trump that day was spewing Nazi propaganda, using the word Nazi. Who looks like the Nazis now? Please, anybody, even if you don't like my content, even if you just pass by, I don't care who you are. Who the hell looks like the Nazi now? You take away from the American citizen, you promise the illegal immigrants something, you don't give it to them, they're all out on the street, you know, in the middle of winter. But yet you take and you take and you take. You take the money, you take the votes, you keep power. Who looks like the Nazi now? I'd like to know. Please, leave a comment. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Pass it around. So nobody thinks that I'm freaking cold-hearted, because I'm not. I do feel bad. Okay? Not so much for the men. Okay? Because a lot of these men are using that, oh, they're asylum seekers, but they're coming in by the tens of thousands, like I said, 100,000, millions. You know, that's a standing army. Stay in your country and fight for your freedom. We have to stay here and fight for ours. We don't go to other countries and fight. Nobody from another country is coming here to fight for our freedoms. We have to sit here and eat shit, eat crow, and take it. I feel bad for the women and children. Okay? Because 90% of those men that are coming here are not man enough to stay in their countries and fight for their women and children. Okay? Just like all those men, when they pulled out of Afghanistan, that were flooding the plains, running away from the fight, leaving the women and children behind. A bunch of fucking cowards is what they were, and they are. But we got to stand here and hold our ground in America. Work hard for the money we can get to try to keep up, like we say, keep up with the Joneses, while they get everything. Okay? And then they're going to go and fight online because somebody, you know, they don't respect the line. Really? You didn't respect our border. How dare you ask anybody for respect? You know the old saying, you want to give respect? Okay? Or you want to get respect, you got to give respect. You didn't respect the law that say, you know what? You're more than welcome to come in, but you got to wait your turn. No, you didn't care about that. No. You got in cahoots with the coyotes. You paid them money, whatever case was. You came on over. You're down in the city. Now you want to stand on line, and then now you want to skip the line. You just want to, just like a Democrat, you want to take. By hook or by crook. You don't care. But anyway, if you want to help support the channel, I'll leave a link in my description to my Cash App and PayPal. We got to keep praying, people, and we got to spread this, okay? Because this is not fair all around. What the Democrats are doing is just horrible. It's just horrible. So remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.